Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Exie and if you're new here, hi! It's very nice to have you here. So for today's topic, I wanted to talk about something that I've been thinking about for a long time. The topic of how motherhood has been healing my inner child. So the first way that motherhood has been healing my inner child is that I find myself many times remembering my own childhood and some of the activities I do with my child, the way I handle some situations are from my own childhood. Whatever I feel like I've been battling, I try to make sure I work on it so that my child doesn't have to deal with that. So I'm going to give an example. I'm a recovering people pleaser basically, and because of that, I've had to put my own feelings or my own dreams or my own goals on hold, like to help others or to not offend others, right? So in that way, now that I am a mom, I've had to push myself to work on that even harder and more because I've really had to stand my ground because I know my child is watching me. And it's easy to say that I will teach my child to not be a people pleaser, but as we all know, kids learn by watching us and not by listening to what we say. In that way, I have been working on myself and not be a people pleaser anymore. And even though it's been hard, I am doing it now for my child because I want him to not have to deal with that. I don't want him to have that issue. So doing that is basically helping me do two things. It's helping me raise my kids better, and it's also healing that wounded part of me that always wants to be loved, that is scared of hurting other people. The other thing is I deleted Instagram when I was pregnant. And honestly, it was one of the easiest decisions. It's crazy because before being pregnant, I would delete Instagram and get it back and delete it off my phone and get it back. And it was always like an on and off thing. And that was fine because I didn't really want to be disconnected. I wanted to have Instagram. I wanted to be connected to friends and I wanted to share memes with friends. But as soon as I was pregnant, I realized that all that time that I was spending, first of all, I have YouTube Shorts, which means to me YouTube Shorts and Instagram and TikTok are basically the same thing. So having TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram felt kind of like redundant because there are TikTok content on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. So in that way, I realized that just deleting Instagram, because I have deleted TikTok years ago, but deleting Instagram was gonna give me the peace of mind. This might just be me, but I know a lot of people can relate to it, where when you're bored, your brain tries to find something to do, and the first thing my brain would try to make me do is grab my phone, click on an app, and start scrolling, right? And the app that my phone would always choose was Instagram. So I would always go immediately on Instagram, click, and start scrolling. And I didn't like that feeling because sometimes I would not even realize that I was scrolling. Or sometimes I would not even realize that I was clicking on Instagram. And that kind of lack of control, I didn't like it. So deleting Instagram when I was pregnant was surprisingly easy. I thought it was going to be hard. And honestly, I haven't even felt like going back to it. If anything, I'm actually kind of wondering if I should just like kill that account because I don't even know if I'll ever go back to Instagram ever again. But I'm not sure yet because I also am kind of wondering what if I want to go back to Instagram in the future, right? What if like all my kids are all grown and then I realize that, hey, I should maybe go back to my Instagram. I don't know. I don't feel like I will be posting on Instagram when my kids are older. I'm really, really considering just killing that account and only staying on YouTube because I'm also like creating content on YouTube. So at least with YouTube, I'm not just consuming, I'm also producing, which is the next point basically. But before I get to that point, and I don't know if my pregnant self even thought this would happen, or even thought this would be possible to even consider just killing my Instagram account. Because there was a time where I wanted to be like a content creator on Instagram for a while, but I really didn't like the way Instagram operated. And I kind of just stopped doing that, but I always thought maybe I would go back to it. And then after I got pregnant, just all of that, I was just done with Instagram. So let me know if you can relate to that. But my next point is with YouTube. I like YouTube better because I feel like YouTube inspires me to create because of the long form contents. So I'm gonna share a little bit about myself, right? I've always been into public speaking. French is my first language, and I would take any opportunity I was given to do public speaking because I just loved it. When I started learning English and I moved to the US, obviously it's not the same because I had to learn English, and that kind of self-confidence of like standing in front of people and talking kind of decreased. But I really wanted to up my English so I could be able to share and talk and do public speaking again. But this is why I love YouTube, because I get to do it. This to me feels like a form of public speaking. It's not like, obviously I don't have like an audience watching me like face to face right now, but it does feel like I'm talking to people, and I get to share things that matter to me. And in that sense, it feels like public speaking. And I also get to practice my public speaking skills, and I get to practice my English. I can detect where I'm lacking in my skills, in my language, in my public speaking skills, and I get to work on it and improve it. This is why I like YouTube, because I can do this on YouTube. I cannot do this on Instagram. There used to be a time where people posted long form content on Instagram, but that doesn't work anymore on Instagram, let alone TikTok. So YouTube is like the only platform for me where I can actually do this, do something that I enjoy doing, and work on my own skills. That's why I want this channel to be very raw and real. I wanted to reflect kind of the way my mind works, I guess. I want it to be real. I want it to be like a work in progress always. I didn't want to go for the super perfect, channel. Obviously, there are channels on YouTube that are amazing. They put a lot of work in, like cinematic work, and it's perfect and it's great. I'm not in that level. I'm just a mom in my little studio room here doing what I enjoy doing. But I like that YouTube lets you do that, and you can still find the people that can relate to you in that way. And I am very grateful for that. Obviously, I'm going to try to make it better every time, but I didn't want to put that pressure on myself. Deciding that I don't want to post simply because my content is not perfect yet. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to post and improve as I go. Before motherhood, I wanted perfection. So I guess I was a perfectionist, and I wouldn't post anything until everything was perfect. But now I'm realizing that life is too short. Like, I'm going to post my content. And if there's something that needs work, I will work on it on the next content. But you'll never know what needs work unless you actually put things out there, right? It became really clear to me when I got my child, and I realized I had to do something for myself. I had to be creative. I have to work on my brain. I have to work on my skills. I cannot just drown in one task and just drown in motherhood and not work on my brain, work on my own skills. It gives me something to work on that is not just my child. And I'm not sure I would have gotten there if it wasn't for going through the experience of motherhood. But the other reason why I think motherhood is healing my inner child is doing nothing is productive. So what I mean is, I will sometimes just sit there and watch my child play and just watch him. And he will sometimes look at me and then go back to playing. Sometimes in our minds, we feel like we have to be doing something. We have to be cleaning or cooking, or the multitude of tasks that have to be done in the household. But sometimes sitting down and just watching your child, not sometimes, sitting down and watching your child is productive. Now, I'm not saying to just sit down every day, throughout the day, just watching your child play. Obviously not. What I'm saying is that for some reason we feel like we should, as moms, as soon as you see your child like doing some independent play, or just minding their own business, we feel like we need to go and be productive, like put the dishes away or cook or do something real quick. But sometimes when your child is doing their independent play, my baby right now is 8 months old, so he's just getting into the rhythm of keeping himself busy. And I find myself like running to do the dishes, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I have learned to also just sit in silence and not do anything. Just sit and allow myself to be bored a little bit. Allow myself to not touch anything. Or just watch my child play. Not be like productive at that moment. Because even at that point where you're just sitting and not doing anything, or making yourself tea, or just sitting there and drinking water and just enjoying it, or even just stepping outside in the sun, my brain used to think that as soon as you get like a 5 minutes break from your child, you should run and do something and be productive. Another way that I think motherhood is healing my inner child is that I get to talk to other women about things that were considered taboo growing up. But this is more of depending on the culture you were raised in. If you were raised in an African culture, then you probably know this. Our parents don't really talk about a lot of things until you're married, or until you're about to get married, right? And then they give you some advice on marriage. And then once you are pregnant, then they start giving you advice on pregnancy stuff, right? But before that, people don't really talk about, those topics are considered kind of taboo. I really do appreciate that motherhood has brought a lot of women to me in a form of friendship, sisterhood, family. These conversations with other women are very helpful, because it kind of, especially like in motherhood, like early postpartum, it shows us that we are not alone in this, and we get to share our experiences with others and help them, and we help each other out. Like, I can't even count how many times I've gotten tips from other mothers that have helped me, or like I've gotten tips and I've given it to other mothers and it has helped them. So I feel like my circle has just opened up. It's people from different generations with different experiences, different cultures, and we all can relate to this one thing. Like, the whole world, all the women in the world all the mothers in the world can relate to this. And it doesn't even matter where you are like, you can go on Facebook. There are Facebook groups for motherhood, for nursing, for postpartum, like any platform, anywhere you go, you will find a friend. Obviously, I'm not saying that you should just be friends with anyone because they're a mom, but there is a connection there. That feeling of knowing that this experience you're going through, there is another mom in China who might be going through the same thing. It makes me realize that women, all of us as a whole, we're like one body. I feel so much love. I didn't realize, a lot of people can relate to this, right? Where you didn't realize you could love this much, and then you have a child, and then you realize like your heart is just open. Like, you have so much love to give, right? Before motherhood, I feel like the kind of love I had was kind of immature. Maybe I had a problem before motherhood, and I needed to be a mother to go through this journey and understand. that there is another form of love. It's been healing to me. I feel like there's no point in like holding grudges. I feel like life is just so short. Watching my baby grow, I just want to give so much. I want to live life to the fullest. I want to give him so much. I want him to have like the best life possible, that I just feel like wasting time on arguing with people, fighting, hating people, it just doesn't matter anymore. Wasting time on that is just pointless. A lot of the things that I do now for him, I'm doing it because I feel like every time I hug him, I'm hugging myself back. I feel like every time I kiss him, I am kissing the little me that wanted a kiss and didn't get it. I feel like whenever I let him hug me when we sleep, and his tiny hands will be on my chest when he's nursing at night, I feel like whenever I hug him very tight and just cover him in kisses, I feel like I'm doing it to my younger self. I do the things for him that I wish were done for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I wasn't loved. Obviously, I was. Like, nobody's perfect, you know? And I'm not even saying that I'm raising him the perfect way. Nobody's perfect, and that's why I have God, because I know that wherever I'm falling short, God is there and God will take over for me. And that's why I'm not afraid. I used to be afraid of like not doing things right or not watching him 100%. But I have peace because I know that I have God. Wherever I fall short, Jesus Christ is there to take over. He's always watching over him. And that gives me peace. The other way that I know motherhood is healing my inner child is because I have now realized that it doesn't take much to be happy. The joy that comes from God is not dependent on what you have. It's dependent on who you have. And watching my baby grow, be a happy boy and be healthy and safe every day just fills my heart with gratitude. And that alone is enough to make me a very happy person. And every single time I sit on our porch with him in a beautiful sunny day, and I watch him just crawl around and touch things and learn to walk and learn words, I feel so blessed. And I am so grateful that I am able to see that. I am able to live that kind of happiness. I am content with what I have. And I think it's because of the peace I have the peace that I have from surrendering to God and surrendering to this journey of motherhood. Nothing will teach you about surrendering better than pregnancy will, because it's an experience that just alters everything. You have to just fully depend on God. There's nothing you can do. You can't make it go any faster. You can't force the baby out of you. Like, the process of labor, I think, is designed to teach us patience and to surrender. I honestly don't know what I would have done if I didn't have God at that moment, because the only person I could call to, he was the only person that could help me, was God, was Jesus. So I called on him. I prayed to him during my labor. So because of that, I just know that surrendering to God is the best way to just have peace. Because you know he's in charge, he'll take control, and you know that he will never want to hurt you. He will never hurt you. So you just have to surrender and trust that everything will be okay. But anyways, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun watching it, and I hope it was helpful and inspiring in some way. If you did like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. Thank you for being here. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video.